Durham on Sunday. Another camp, right? Sunderland. Behind it was female as well, in terms of like people that are doing the clips. They just gave it seems like they must have just given it to young girls at Sky and gone, here.
like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
Hello and welcome back to Matchday Live, streaming on X, YouTube, Facebook and Town TV. Proudly brought to you by our headline digital partner, Fleximize, the UK's award-winning lender offering fast, flexible business loans. Kickoff is just under an hour away as Ipswich Town take on Oxford United at the Kazam Stadium, their third game in 7 days. The Blues are looking to extend their 6-game unbeaten run and keep up their excellent away form, having won their last 3 on the road. Coming up on the show, we'll look back at a previous meeting with the U's. We have a special On This Day rewind. Our guests pick their favourite town goals, and we'll bring you all the latest team news, analysis and talking points before the action gets underway. And as always, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the chat or join the conversation using the hashtag TownTV to be featured on the show. Well, good evening and welcome to Matchday Live. It's been a quick turnaround since the game on Tuesday night at Hull, but here we are live from Portman Road. Alongside me, we have Town women's defender Megan Waring and, of course, former Blues midfielder Cole Scouse. Great to have you both with us. Before we start talking about the Blues tonight, Megan, you've just got back from camp. How was it?
It was good. We were over in Belgium for a few days. Didn't get the win, but it was still an enjoyable camp.
You must enjoy going away on international duty.
It's not too bad. Get to travel around different parts of the world. Don't have to pay for it, so it's perks of the job.
One of the perks. Cole, you get to do a bit of travelling as well, being a non-league manager. It's always nice to have our little catch-ups, but how's it going down at Berrytown?
I'm glad you said I do my travelling in a non-league world. It certainly was an international camp, so I can assure you of that. And Megan's just got back from Belgium. I think my last trip was Spalding.
It's a great place to go.
A lovely place to go. Nothing against Spalding. It's going okay. We've been really, really competitive. Results probably aren't reflective of performance. But no, I'm really pleased. The group's been brilliant. I keep saying to myself and to everyone else, we will be hitting that little turning point very, very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you haven't got a game to go to tomorrow, Berrytown are playing at home, so do go and check them out. There are some former Blues down there as well. I know Alan Lee's involved. Megan, tonight's game for Ipswich Town, it's their second away game on the road, and then we've got that game against Blackburn next week. How much can it take out of the players of all this travelling?
You'd think, sitting on a coach for a few hours travelling or a plane, what it be, it wouldn't take much out of you, but it can be quite draining. So I think the recovery in between will be massive for the lads, and yeah.
Yeah, Cole, you've experienced it firsthand, I'm sure, with the travelling. I know it's a little bit different now. They're using planes and all sorts to get there, but just how much can it take out of the boys, with it being like three away games in 7 days?
No, as like Megan said, it's tough. A lot of clubs now have experimented with. I say experimented. They fly to an awful lot of fixtures. I know it's well publicised the short journeys that the teams in the Premier League take. Train's a good option because you've still got the sort of flexibility of getting up and moving about. Coach journeys are sort of rarer than most now, I'd say. We were gone of the days of sitting on a bus to Bolton for 7-8 hours. But it is draining. As I got older and I was a parent of 3 children, sitting on a bus for 7 hours was sometimes blissful, but it does drain you. There's pros to it. You've got enough time to, the manager might have 10, 15 minutes on a bus for you to prep for the game that's coming up. But I think clubs now would prefer the option of flying or train over coach.
Well, the games that do come thick and fast in the Championship, and the Blues will be looking to secure another 3 points on the road following that brilliant performance away at Hull on Tuesday night. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights.
Ipswich Town, backed by over 2,000 members of the Blue Army, face Hull City, the MKM Stadium, looking to pump the ball clear. And then Gelhard is going to go for goal from range, and he almost caught Christian Walton out. Joke Hull looking to cause problems. Coyle will deliver in. Greaves heading away, only as far as Adala. I think it might have struck the base of the post. Philogene. Past Balumi, held up by Coyle. Davis. Philogene delivering in. Nunez is coming onto it, and Marcelino Nunez is scoring. Philogene sent it in from the left side, and Nunez snuck in unmarked in between the two Hull centre-backs. Head away inside his 6-yard box. Akpom, nice little prod into the path of Nunez. This is promising for Ipswich Town. It's 4 against 2. Can Ipswich capitalise? Nunez, he's up with Philogene, Akpom and Waller-Egley. Nunez goes for goal himself, and it's blocked by Ajayi. Davis recycles. Nunez once more, just outside the penalty area. Waller-Egley now. Philogene, Davis wants it, Davis has it. Can Davis deliver? Finding the cut back for Akpom. It's blocked only as far as furlong, and then saved by Pandur. Nunez across this near side, takes the corner kick, and it comes towards O'Shea. It's parried, it's turned home by Akpom, and the flag is going to stay down, and Chuba Akpom has got his first Ipswich goal. As Ipswich come forward again, Waller-Egley now into Philogene just outside the penalty area. Philogene onto his left foot and off the post. Jayden Philogene.
A brilliant result for the Blues on the road again as we dismantle Hull 2-0. But it was a very different game, wasn't it? It was a game of two halves, really. The first was quite difficult for the Blues to get any rhythm, but we really found it in the second half, Cole.
I think so. With a little bit of honesty, the first half's a relatively tough watch. But incredibly pleasing. If you wrap the context around the fixture, you look at Hull's position prior to the game and the run they'd been on. To go away and show that solidity away from home in the first half, incredible. But then to carry the threats that the group carry, second half almost looked as simple as slipping another gear, stepping the tempo of the game up ever so slightly, and went on to what would be a relatively comfortable result, I think, in the end.
How much confidence can the boys take from a third successive away win going into tonight's game against Oxford?
I think they can take a lot, Away games in the Championship are always going to be difficult. The atmosphere is relatively hostile and away games are important. And in this league, points are massive. And so to go away from home, pick up them, just adds to the momentum because we know Portman Road's a bit of a fortress. So away games are going to be key for us this year. So if we can go and get another one tonight, that would be huge.
We speak a lot on this show about the squad depth and the changes that Kieran makes. It was 6 on Tuesday night. We probably saw in the first half why we may have lost a little bit of fluidity. But as a manager, how much of a luxury is it to have the options that we have on the bench? Because we don't dip when we make the subs. We either increase in level or maintain.
Huge, really. And I've spoke openly about the depth that the group has. It's, in my opinion, the strongest squad that a championship has seen for a long, long time. Bringing in the calibre of players that you're bringing in. I think the rotation's really important, and how Kieran delivers it to the players is look, he'll have his way of doing it, and I'm sure it's unbelievable the way he does it, because it always seems to be a harmonious group. But it's so important. He knows day by day what the lads are going through, the loads that they're going through, the impact that the travelling may have. Lads have been away on international duty. So he knows as to why he's doing it. There's a method to it. It's not as simple as just going, right, you might have a rest this week, you come in this week. There's method to it, of course. And there'll be depth of detail behind it. But to have that in your armoury, to be able to go, wow, I'm bringing you out for a slight rest for this one, because this one their area of strength might be this, so we need fresh legs here, all those little bits. Incredible.
Okay, well, let's have a look at those goals from Tuesday night's victory. We speak about the squad rotation and the depth, and someone that's come in and done really well, Marcelino Nunez, probably unexpected to be the player that scores a header in this position, but he's made a real impact when he's come on, and again, he's starting tonight, so that's just a testament to his performances that he's putting in.
Yeah, definitely. When he came in, inevitably, there was a lot of noise around the transfer, making the switch. But he's brought a lot of probably needed creativity in that 10 role. I think maybe we were missing that in elements at the start of the year, and he's starting to, find his feet in that role, and we're seeing the benefits of that on the pitch.
The first goal in that game was going to be key, wasn't it? And it's always important that, we are the ones that get that goal. But it just changed the momentum and everything of that second half.
It did, and again, slipping back into the manager's hat as such, your information to the group is, look, don't be the ones to blink first. They'll be incredibly disappointed, Hull, with the manner in which they've conceded. They sort of pride themselves on being really resilient at home, great home form, to allow, like you said, Nunez, who isn't renowned for his heading of goals, I'm sure, to slip in between big gaps, which you've seen there, is so unlike them. And like I said, they blinked first. It then shifted the momentum of the game completely.
Forward players, Megan, are always after that first goal. It was great to see Chuba Akpom, who's been playing in more of that 10 role, but he had a spell up top in that game against Hull, and he got his reward for being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, definitely. He's shown in previous campaigns the quality that he has, and hopefully, we often say once a forward player can break the deadlock, hopefully that it will begin to flow and he'll find the back of the net more often. He can link up with other attacking players and we can see a bit more fruit in front of goal.
Sometimes that's what a player needs when they haven't scored the goal. It's not the prettiest, but it'd be one of the easiest goals Chuba Akpom's ever scored, just to kickstart his season, and then he can take that momentum into the next game and the next one.
That's a dream for him to be. And it's no coincidence he's in the position he's been in to score his goal. And he's shown flashes within fixtures of the ability he's got. You don't get a move to the calibre of club that he got his move to for no reason. He's a top player. Like I said, he's shown sprinkles. It might be that little swing now of, right, that's gone, that one's gone, the getting of the goal's gone. He can now, I'm sure the environment created by the manager and the group for him to thrive is already there. But within himself, he might be like, now I've parked that one where I have scored a goal. Now I can really sort of loosen up maybe and carry on and create more performances.
We always travel well for away games with the fans. There was 2,000 that made the trip to Hull on that Tuesday night. It's Friday night, and we've got another 1,400 going down to Oxford. They might have popped into Bicester Village on the way there to get their Christmas shopping in, but it's great. They've got football tonight. Just how much of that support can really help the players again and what will be a difficult night?
It's so important. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Our town fans are some of the best there are across the country, and I think, going into an away game where the home crowd are going to be loud, the away fans making that noise, making sure the boys can hear them, it is so huge. And in moments where there probably will be, elements of difficulty with tonight, the fans can almost be that 12th man and sort of carry them through that. And hopefully we can get a few goals and that will build the crowd and they can make more noise and keep the boys going.
Is there anything tonight, Cole, that you'd like to see from the boys that's slightly different to what we may have saw on Hull? Will Kieran be looking at it and going, what can we learn from that game and take into this game? Is there any, not negatives as it were, but things to improve on?
Again, as much as we spoke about changes being of a great positive to have where you can dip into the depth and have those changes, you're wanting the lads to be at full tilt when you make those changes. As much as it's, like I said, it's great to have them and the rotation's brilliant, you want those lads that are coming in, which I think they will be, because it's a great opportunity for them to come in and go, right, bang, this is my opportunity to really stamp a print on the group. But in answer to your question, probably not, because if you put in the whole context around the whole fixture, they're a really good side in a great league position. Hull had a really good run of form at home, really good run of form throughout the season. To go there and produce the performance in which we did and sort of nullified them to not really good chances in the first half, to show real solidity, like I said, and then go on and be the dictators and changing the momentum of the game and the tempo of the game. You'd almost want a rinse and repeat, I'd say, away from home in a tough setting away to Oxford. A
clean sheet on Tuesday night. It'd be great to follow that up tonight. The defence has been brilliant. We talk about all the attacking options, but Dara O'Shea at the back, and we showed on the show on Tuesday, the diagonal ping that he had in that game was sublime. But just what have you made of Town's defensive unit so far this season?
I think we've got better as a collective as it's gone on. Obviously we've seen some changes with Kipre coming in, Greavesy. It's been a bit of a change, but I think they've grown into it. And hopefully again tonight, that first half against Hull, we nullified their threats. They didn't create much, and that allowed in the second half where we hadn't been at our best. It was still an even playing field, and the attackers could build upon that platform. So if we can keep it out, the back of our net, then it keeps us in the game, and hopefully the attackers can then go on and do their jobs.
Yeah, let's hope the attackers do go on and do their jobs, just like this player did in 2021. Who remembers this goal? Bersant Selena against Crewe Alexandra. It happened on this very day. Let's remind ourselves of that 2-1 victory against Crewe. A brilliant goal there by Bersant Selena. It's actually that good. We're going to take another look at it now because what we have done, the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to get our guests to pick out their favourite town goal of all time. Cole, when someone produces a bit of magic like that, as a player, obviously in the post-match it'll all be about the 3 points, I did it for the team, but deep down, surely you're all going, I can't believe what I've just done there.
He's still wanting to knee slide in front of the reporter. That, when it's a goal like that, I can remember the goal happening. I wasn't at the game. I can remember my phone being red hot. So obviously I played with Bersant in his previous loan, and everyone was meshing through, like old players, fans, everyone was saying, oh my God, get on Bersant's goal, watch Bersant's goal, watch Bersant's goal. And then you get people saying, well, he didn't mean the first touch, it was a cross. But going back to your point, when you score a goal like that, that is something, he'd be... And he probably should have come out and said, yeah, I don't care about the 3 points. Should we talk more about my goal? Because you do inside, you're like, oh my good golly. And you'll see that in the goals coming up. You'll see, we'll let the next bit happen.
Megan, they're the kind of goals that fans between themselves will go, where were you when that goal happened? Like, as players, they're the kind of things you dream of. And as supporters, that's what lives long in the memories, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I reckon there's been many a time down the pub or wherever it is, someone's mentioned that goal and someone will say, oh, I was here with such and such when I saw that goal, and that's something that will come up for many generations.
Before we get into your favourite goals, what do you think is the better goal? Do you look at things from an aesthetic point of view, long distance, or are you more... the moment, capturing the moment, might not be the prettiest goal, but it means so much to everyone, or team goals? What do you think is like the best?
So going back, sort of even when I'm into childhood as such, like the goals that stand out for me when I was slightly younger would be like the David Beckham from the halfway line, those kind of goals, the sheer brilliance. Of course there'll be goals that have highlighted for the team play where it's an incredible move that's maybe not the finish you desire, but it's a tap-in, but an incredible team. But for me, I'd say it has to be those moments of brilliance, like you've just seen from Bersant there. That's genius.
You've led into this brilliantly, because we're now going to be talking about your favourite goals and talking about moments of brilliance. Megan, you're first up, so what have you gone for?
I've had to go for Wes Burns'
Thought you
Travella
might.
at Coventry. That's a goal that will live long in all of our memories, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's take a look at Wes's goal. This is another moment where we all remember where we were. But sort of going back to what I was saying, Cole, about the build-up, not only was there a bit of brilliance at the end, but the build-up here from Town was superb.
So this is the blending of the two together. That pass there, unbelievable. The bravery in the bottom end of the pitch to find your way out. And then to have a great passage like that, and then to wrap it off with something like this, that's like that's the perfect one. You're sticking the two together.
Megan, do you ever attempt anything like that in training? Do you ever try and recreate any goals? Because that is a moment of brilliance from Wes.
I'm a centre-half for a reason. I may have tried a bicycle kick in training the other day and ended up flat on the ground, so there won't be any of them from me.
How that goal didn't win the Puskas, I'll never know. Obviously, Wes has had a haircut since then as well, and he still looks great. Can't wait to see him back out on the pitch doing things like that. Right, Cole, you're up next, and lots to pick from, and you've gone for...
I can't believe this has ended up as me picking this. I've been tucked up here. The segue being, so going back to when we're talking about Burstant's goal earlier, I've said, look, we'll wait to see what happens the next 45 to a minute. I've gone for my goal, Curly.
Absolutely. Why not? Why not?
It
Talk
wasn't
us through
my...
it. When was it? When did it happen?
So many moons ago, many moons ago, my children actually chose this. So
Oh, did they?
Jess, I got the message come through from Jess, Cole, your all-time favourite goal. And I said, kids, what do you think? It has to be yours, Dad.
Yeah. And then you only had two to pick from.
Yeah, one massive deflection and one that took everybody's by surprise. And going back to Meg and your points about where were you when this happened, I think they generally had T-shirts made.
Well, let's just see how good that goal was from Cole. It was one of two that he scored for the Blues. And I think we saw this in rehearsals. I nearly stood up and give you a little round of applause, mate, because that is a beautiful strike. When you hit that, did you know where it was going to end up?
Absolutely not. No, not. So I think the amazement was not just the goal, the fact that I actually shot, I think, took everybody by surprise, and you can see in my celebration.
Yeah,
it was never...
the celebration needed a little bit of work. It was a bit of one of those ones where you didn't expect yourself to score,
No.
and you're just running away,
Again,
cheering.
not at all. And I've told the story many a times. Our Massa at the time, every time you get a rub during the week or before the game, say, Cole, this is the one. When you score, come and find me. And that was the first thought. I was on a yellow card. Probably should have had a second yellow because I actually went into the dugout, into the crowd where the Massa was sat. And later on in the game was kind of done. The ref said, look, I probably should have second yellow there. But no, it's... Unbelievable goal, though.
Yeah, great goal, great goal. Right, we'll wrap it up with my favourite Town goal. Obviously, I've been at the club for 2 seasons now, so I've gone for one that meant the most to me, and I'm sure it meant a lot to you Town fans out there. I've gone for Jeremy Sarmiento's goal against Southampton. Like I say, it's not the prettiest of goals, but I think it's one of those moments where we all remember where we were. Let's have a look at it. We were in the Town TV studio for this one. Obviously, the way it came about being a 95th minute stoppage time winner, Megan, they're the best times to score goals, aren't they? Especially when it means so much.
Absolutely. My first goal for Town was in the 15th minute of added time, one of the craziest games, so I can relate to that feeling. But I was in the crowd for this game, and the scenes were unbelievable.
Yeah, and the camera work there as well, it just adds to all of it, because it's chaotic, isn't it, Cole? Like, you're not really sure what's going on. There's limbs everywhere, and I think it accommodates everything that we've sort of spoken about, especially with the trajectory of this football club, where it's heading. It's moments like that fans will remember for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's a huge swing. That's a huge swinging moment for the club, that goal. And I think that was the one, correct me if I'm wrong, was that the one where Connor Chaplin was taken off a few minutes prior, and then he's ran across the pitch to celebrate with the group, and that was sort of made a thing of after as well. But like I said, that's a huge swinging moment for the club. Again, the context wrapped around that fixture and the manner in which it ended was huge for the club.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you agree with our favourite Town goals, or share your own using the hashtag TownTV. Right, let's rewind to Boxing Day 2022. We're all stuffing ourselves with Christmas food, but there was a game taking place between Town and Oxford United, and this is how it went down.
And here come the two sets of players. Boxing Day football at Portman Road as Ipswich Town walk out for their final home match of 2022. Referee says no. Portman Road is not happy, and Wolfenden here, superb piece of defending. He stayed alert and a potentially Worrying defensive moment has turned into an attack. Oh, brilliant again from Walkenden. Here's Harness. Up towards Chaplin. Ladapo! Freddie Ladapo! Double figures for the season. Ipswich 1, Oxford 0. In it comes from Davis. Burns! Brilliant! Brilliant from Wes Burns! He was never going to blow up there. Evans, what a game he has had. And here's Aluko, and Chaplin's in. If he can reach him, it's Connor Chaplin! It's 3-0! It's 3 points on Boxing Day! Connor Chaplin! There's a moment of hesitation at the back. It's all over, and listen to that applause. Ipswich have very comfortably beaten Oxford here on Boxing Day.
A Christmas cracker at Portman Road with plenty of goals. Let's hope for more of the same this evening. The table at the minute says Oxford United down in the relegation, Ipswich 5th in the league. On paper, it's one of those ones where you would say it should be a 3-point victory for the Blues. But the biggest thing we can do at this point is get complacent. And that's what Kieran and the boys, I'm sure, will be talking about before this game, Megan.
Yeah, the Championship is one of the most unpredictable leagues. You know, anyone can beat anyone, and the biggest thing isn't getting complacent, because teams will eat that up, and before you know it, you're sat on the coach home and you didn't take 3 points. And so tonight, the boys will be looking out to go and get a fast start and try and get control of the game early, and that way we can just see it out over the 90 minutes.
Did the players talk about that in the changing room beforehand? I know Kieran will have his say that have done all the work that they could possibly do, but do the players get together and there'll be a leader in there, probably the captain, Dara, will go in, lads, let's not let this slip, we're in a good momentum here. Is that something that you've experienced?
Yeah, it is. Like you said, it tends to be the bigger voices within the change room, like your captain, your vice captain, the leaders within a group. It'll be the same in any change room up and down the country, regardless of what level it is. They'll know the sort of run they're on and the feeling they've got within their group. They know probably the amount of people I've spoke to prior to this game that are saying Ipswich are now picking up that momentum without really getting into full stride. But they'll know going full well. Again, they've had a long journey prior. They've had a long journey down to here, but they'll know, and they'll be speaking amongst themselves, that it's a great opportunity for us fellas to come here, get another great result, wrap ourselves up again, prep for the best one, the best possible way we can. But that would be their mindset, the mentality of win, win, win every game at every cost.
Oxford have only won once this season at home. Obviously, that plays into Town's advantage. But it's not going to be as easy as that, is it? But you said there, what I thought would be quite interesting, that you expect Town to get out the traps quite early. Do you think with where they're sitting, that they'll take that confidence into this game to get at them maybe more than what we saw on Tuesday night against Hull?
Yeah, the thing is, Oxford aren't going to be happy with where they're sat in the league. You know, there's an element of pride, especially being at home. And so they'll come out and they're probably going to try and make it difficult for us. And so I expect to see Town dominate early on, with Oxford just trying to maybe deny. And so if the boys can break that down early and get an early goal, it settles the nerves and they can ease into it. Whereas, you know, if maybe they struggle to break them down over 45, Oxford might begin to gain a little bit of confidence, and that's not really what we want to see tonight. So if we can get in there early, and it will settle the nerves and hopefully for the rest of the game. One
thing we can give Oxford praise for is scoring a 95th minute equaliser against the other lot down the road in midweek. But that's something that Town will need to be aware of. The game's not over until it's over, as they found out in midweek.
No, very much so. And they've got a manager in charge that's been around. He's done a lot of rounds. He's experienced. And as much as we're saying for Ipswich, they'll have the mindset and the chats amongst the group of another one, fellas, tick this off, keep the momentum. Oxford, on the sort of caveat to that would be Oxford will be in their change room or within their huddle saying this is one, fellas, we can lay a real marker on the TV against a big fish within the league. It would be a huge scalp. This is one that could maybe kickstart a great run for us as a club before the busy Christmas period, and it could be a great one live on TV.
Which players, Megan, do you think will be the standout performers for Town tonight? We've made 4 changes from the team that travelled to Hull, but who do you think could be the match winner?
Well, if you go off recency, you've got to say Philogene is probably going to have an impact tonight. He's been there, you know, created some special moments already this year. But I also think Azor in the middle has been a real sort of engine for the squad. He's really growing into the role. And if he can, shut Oxford down and keep them out tonight, it gives us a great platform to build on and hopefully see some magic moments from the front line.
There's a familiar face in the Oxford team. Greg Lee was Kieran's third signing when he came into the football club. What is it like when you go and play against an old teammate, or he'll be watching, they're itching to get on to sort of prove a point as well?
Yeah, up against an old club. So I obviously had the experience of sort of leaving Bristol City, playing for Ipswich against Bristol City, which is sort of magnified because it's my hometown club. I'm not saying Greg Lee's hometown club is Ipswich, but again, from Colchester, playing against Ipswich, it adds an extra little bit of spice, it really does. As much as he's got loads of friends in the change room, I'm sure that he'd be wishing for 95% of the season really, really well. It will add a little bit for him. He'll want to get the result for his club first and foremost, of course, but for his own personal pride, he'll want to sort of put a bit of a dent in Ipswich's run and have the best performance he could possibly have throughout the season, I'm sure.
Hopefully he stays on the bench this evening and doesn't get that opportunity. We know the weather conditions can cause havoc at football games, and actually in 2023 at the Kassam Stadium, Town played Oxford United in a game where I think a lot of people thought it was going to get called up. I'm going to show you some pictures now of the fog. Terrible conditions. A very young Nathan Broadhead there, but Megan, how much do the conditions play a part in today's modern game?
They have a huge impact, whether it's fog and what you can and can't see, or the rain or the wind that, changes potentially teams' whole game plan. If you can't play aerial balls because of the wind, that changes a lot. And, when it's extremely wet, it changes the way you strike a ball, and how you think of attacking. So it has a huge impact on game plan and the way you play.
Fog is quite a rare one that we see in football, but from your experience, how much does that affect a game? I know visibility is the key thing. I've been there and seen it myself, but is that a really tough condition to play in? Is it for safety reasons it should get called off and things like that?
I would say so. I can't remember playing in horrific fog throughout my time. I generally can. I can't remember. You've had rains, and again, Oxford away. Yeah. For Ipswich, we had a delayed game of about 20 minutes, I think, due to rain. But fog, without stating the obvious, it's visibility that it affects, and it's for safety, I guess. But I can't remember playing in really bad fog, to be honest.
What are the perfect conditions to play football? Do you like it when there's been a little bit of rain, you got that slickness on the surface?
Yeah, I think for a defender that's perfect. You start thinking, I might get a big tackle in the game. But yeah, a little bit of rain so the ball can zip is probably perfect. Not too cold where you're coming in at half time dripping and freezing cold, but a little bit of water on the surface is lovely.
Yeah, I don't like the cold either. It's horrible, isn't it? Right, with 3 games in 7 days, there hasn't been much time for the Blues to get out on the training pitch, but when they did, the Town TV cameras were there to capture it. might not have had the technical ability, but I reckon I could have performed quite well at that reaction test there. But right, let's have a look at Kieran McKenna's starting lineup for the team taking on Oxford United this evening. The gaffer has made 4 changes to the side that won 2-0 at Hull City on Tuesday. Cedric Kipre replaces Jacob Greaves in defence, with the latter among the substitutes at the Kassam Stadium. Jack Taylor partners Azor Matusiwa in midfield, with Cameron Humphreys an option off the bench, and George Hurst leads the line at Oxford, with Sindrawalla Egley and Jaden Philogene starting out wide for the Blues. We've spoken about squad rotation. Cole, is that sort of what you expected to see tonight? Not massive overhaul, but 4 players coming in.
I think so. Again, due to even the 24 hours, that's good. That's a big difference. Going from Tuesday to Friday rather than Tuesday to Saturday, again, with the little bits we spoke about, the travelling, the load that the players are going through now in games, the intensity they play at, it was always going to happen. It was just who it was going to happen to. And I think that still you're looking at the side there thinking, it's like you said earlier, you can't say that it's weaker or whatever it may be. It's still an incredibly strong squad.
Yeah, Jack Taylor coming in for Kayuste, he signed that new deal, which is great for everyone to see. He's been at the club for a long time and he's produced in that performance. But we're very fortunate to have arguably 3 of the best midfielders, certainly when you put them as a partnership. But Jack will come in and slot into that role perfectly, won't he?
Yeah, I think he's done really well this year. He's bided his time and he's now got his opportunity. And so far, I'd say that, he's taken that opportunity and we've seen some really good performances. So hopefully he can follow that up tonight with another one and keep giving McKenna almost a headache on. He's got such a luxury of options. Who do I play?
Yeah, Kieran must have a lot of Nurofen at the training ground because he's got headaches all over the pitch, because we've got Cedric Kipre coming in for tonight's game, who has been brilliant. We started the season with Jacob Greaves, and he's been excellent as well. That rotation between the 3 of them as well, again, nothing really changes. Everyone knows their job and their roles and responsibilities.
No, it doesn't. And in fairness to Kipre, I know he's been exposed to the Championship before, but it might have taken that little bit longer for him at the start of the season to adapt to maybe the way Kieran likes to play, the way the league is. Again, we don't really know, without sitting down with Kieran and say, what was your thoughts behind it? But since that, and when he's come into the group, his performances have been top. He's been brilliant. So again, you can rotate, if you want to call it rotate, with all of them being comfortable playing alongside each other.
Yeah, and George Hurst is leading the line, obviously fresh from qualifying for the World Cup. We spoke about it on Tuesday night, but another player that probably needs another goal to really kickstart his season, because we know he's got bags of ability and he knows where the back of the net is. It's just, you need that. He needs a goal like Atpong got in midweek to just fall to his lap and just tap it in.
Yeah, definitely. I think being a forward, a lot of it is confidence-based, but there's plenty of talent on that pitch around him. So hopefully tonight we can see him sort of just like Atpong, if he can grab that goal, and we can see his confidence skyrocket, and we know the quality Hurst he has, and so hopefully he can go on and start getting a few more.
Yeah, there's plenty of quality on the bench as well, should Kieran McKenna need it. We know he likes to make his subs, so no doubt we'll see a few of these faces. Great to see Cameron Humphreys on the bench. I know he's had a few injuries and whatnot throughout this season, but a young talent coming through. He did a brilliant loan deal at Wycombe Wanderers last season.
Yeah, and I know, having spoke to the management team at Wycombe last season, they absolutely adored him and said he was by far a standout for them last year. So for Cam, as such, sort of an internal challenge for him is making that step into this league and laying a footprint on this league. And I know how much the club think of him as a player. Every coach you speak to still attached to the club absolutely adore him. His application as a player is unbelievable. The way he goes about his business, the way he's forever striving to improve himself and better himself. I would love to see him get on the pitch this evening.
Okay, right, that is your town starting 11. Let's turn our attention to today's opponents, and to take us through their lineup, we're going to head over to our lead commentator, the man in the know. He is a football dictionary encyclopedia. Glenn Wheeler, talk to us about Oxford United.
Yeah, thanks, Curly. Enjoying the show so far. Some great goal choices from you three. Oxford United snatched a dramatic 95th minute equaliser at Norwich on Tuesday night to deny the Canaries their first home win of the season. Bulgaria international Filip Krastev stepped off the bench to score the late leveller at Carrow Road, and as a result, he's rewarded with a place in Gary Warrett's starting 11 tonight. Winger Stan Mills also comes into the side, with Tyler Goodrum dropping to the bench, whilst Hida Ter Avest misses out entirely. Kieran Brown was forced off with injury during the game against Norwich, but he is fit to start at the heart of the Oxford defence tonight alongside Mikael Helik, who captains the side. Striker Mark Harris makes his 4th league start of the campaign, but the Welshman is yet to score in his 15 appearances in all competition. As mentioned earlier, in terms of the Oxford United bench, there is one familiar name for Town fans. Greg Lee was part of the Ipswich squad that won promotion from League One during the 2022-23 season and made 22 appearances during his time in Suffolk. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Glenn. Much appreciated. One player that's really taken a liking to the fans is Sindra Waller-Egley. And earlier on, Jacob Henderson caught up with the winger to see what his thoughts were on tonight's game.
Sindra, how are you and the lads feeling ahead of tonight's game against Oxford?
Yeah, we're ready, up for it. It's been a lot of games now, but ready for the quick turnaround. So I think all the boys are ready to put in a good shift.
Feeling positive after Tuesday night's win. What was good about that performance?
No, I think we just stick to the game plan the whole game and really put the work in, and then we finally got the rewards at the end.
How do you think Oxford are going to try and make it difficult this evening?
Now we know Oxford is a very difficult place to go to, so they'll be hard in the duels, run a lot, so I'm sure it's going to be a really tough game.
You're going to need that away end?
Really. We need the support as we always have, so yeah, it's going to be nice.
Good luck, Sindra.
Sindra Waller-Egley there talking to Town TV's Jacob Henderson, a player that's, like I said earlier, has excited a lot of players. We've seen it in glimpses, but he looks like a talent, certainly one for the future, but he's going to do a bit in the Championship as well, isn't he, Megan?
Oh, definitely. I think you've seen glimpses of it in his Town performances, but we've also seen it when he's gone away with Norway, and he keeps playing brilliantly for them. So looking forward to seeing once it starts clicking and that's more consistent. I think he's going to be a real threat and a real player for us.
We can see what he does on the pitch, but sometimes as fans we probably forget about all the stuff off it. Moving country, a young player, learning the language as well. It's impressive to see how these players develop. But to be fair, at a place like Town, he's probably in the best place.
Exactly that. We literally spoke before the like, how old is he? He's young.
Young, yeah.
So you see mature or experienced players come across to the English League, whether it be the Premier League, the Championship League, whatever it may be, and struggle to settle. So for someone of that age to come across and to show the glimpses that he's shown, first and foremost, he deserves a huge amount of credit for, because it is tough. It's tough to come across to completely the unknown. But like you said, the group that he's come into is probably brilliant. The town that he's come into is brilliant for it. And I think he will, even if it's a short stay here at the club, I'm not trying to wish your time away, but he has got the capabilities, I'm sure, to play at the highest of levels. He spoke so highly of by everyone within the game. I'm sure he'll play at the highest of levels.
Yeah, on the topic of young players, Town's under-21s are playing on Monday, and you can watch it on Town TV. So do make sure you tune into that one. Megan, before we go, the women's season, obviously we know it's been a tough one, but you've got two big games coming up now. Durham and Sunderland, obviously with the FA Cup game as well in between. But how much are you looking forward to the continued challenge that this WSL2 has put to you and the girls this season? Yeah,
massively. We worked for years to get to this position, and so now we're here and it's difficult. We're not going to give up on it or moan that we're facing a challenge. But yeah, we've got two massive away games before Christmas, and we spoke about the lads' momentum, so if we could go away and grab some points, that would be huge for us.
Durham, Sunderland, and potentially a midweek game down south. What are you like with the travelling for that one?
Well, it's going to take it out of us, like we mentioned earlier, but plenty of time on a coach, get a few card games out, and I'm sure we'll pass the time and it'll be all right.
Kick-off is fast approaching, Cole, so let's get your final thoughts on tonight's game. How do you see Town winning this one? And at the end of it, if you could give us a prediction.
Again, I've mentioned it earlier on the show, going away with that sort of away game mindset of they're chasing a result, I'd say, Oxford. So first and foremost, your base is really strong. Without stating the absolute obvious, give it to the boys that can add that little bit of sprinkle on the top end of the pitch, let them do the magic. And I think it will be a comfortable win this evening. I'm going to say 4-0.
Comfortable. That's more than comfortable, isn't it? That's a demolition. Megan, what are you going for?
I'm going to go slightly more conservative. I'll go 3-0.
Right, we'll take either result. Right, big thank you to everyone watching this evening. A reminder that international supporters in selected regions can watch tonight's game with a £10 match pass. Town TV subscribers, you'll have the beautiful tones of Ian Westlake and Glenn Wheeler. So we do hope you enjoy tonight's coverage. Cole, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Megan, it's been an absolute pleasure. And a big thank you to you watching at home and to our sponsors, Fleximize. We're back here on Tuesday night for another away game. Blackburn Rovers, James Anadakis will be sitting right here. We'll see you then.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
It's a new season, a new challenge, a new home, some new faces, the same support.
The Pesket is there on the follow-up to make it 3.
We need you again. Let's do this together.
When we started this, did we ever think we'd have a partnership with a football club? Absolutely not. This is beyond our wildest dreams. We pretty much exclusively hire graduates at Halo. We're very proud of our Suffolk roots. Halo's a pretty passionate, positive, enthusiastic place generally, but when you've also got what's going on at the football club, and it's just blending passion and enthusiasm.